Scoutmaster, now retired. Mr. Lee Warren is our new Scoutmaster, but I would like to welcome you to the Eagle Corps of Honor for Layton Coker and Connor Wright. Eagle Scout rank is the highest recognition that Scouting offers. To earn the rank of Eagle, a Scout must spend a great deal of time and effort fulfilling the requirements of rank advancement. Only a small percentage, probably around 4%, related calculation, of boys who begin in Scouting complete the requirements and are recognized with this honor. The wearer of the Eagle Scout Award is the epitome of Scouting's best efforts and beliefs. The efforts of these two young men, as well as those of their Scout leaders and families, culminate today in the presentation of the Eagle Scout Award. As we say to all of our boys who attain this rank, and I've said recently to them, this is a big deal. It's a wonderful honor, and it's a big deal. At this point, I would like to call upon our troop chaplain, Samuel Barron, to ask God's blessing on this ceremony. Samuel.
We bow your heads in prayer. Our gracious God and Father, we thank you for this special day. Today we celebrate the efforts Connor and Layton have made over the years to advance in Scouting. We think of all the badges they earned along the way, the oaths they learned, the character they developed, and their service to our community and fellow Scouts. Little by little, month by month, and year by year, they were faithful, and today we celebrate this marker of diligent and hard work. So we ask you, our Lord, to bless Layton and Connor and their family who supported and encouraged them. We ask your blessing to fall upon their fellow Scouts whose fellowship they enjoyed along the pathway. We thank you for the Scout leaders who gave them so much time and energy to develop young men like Connor and Layton. Bless them with the certainty that their work has influenced the course of many lives. We all benefit because of their sacrifices and leadership. And so, our God, we pray that you would bless this celebration as we rejoice with Layton and Connor. We pray in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Sam. Eagle candidates, Connor Wright and Layton Coker, please come forward. Welcome. Scouting is no doubt one of the greatest organizations in the world to foster the ideals of citizenship. Many of our nation's greatest leaders have the earliest leadership experiences in Scouting. The total development from boyhood to manhood depends on physical, mental, and moral growth expressed in the Scout law and oath. Skills are demanding, and the challenge is so great that it is not surprising to learn that such a small percent of all boys in Scouting achieve the rank of Eagle. If you refer to your program, you can see the long trail these Eagles have traveled. The Eagle Award is the culmination of the efforts of each Scout and his leaders. The Scout must earn at least 21 merit badges in various crafts and skills. In addition, each Eagle candidate must plan and supervise an Eagle Scout service project. This service project demonstrates a Scout's capacity and willingness to exert his leadership ability in activities that are constructive and worthwhile to his community. Layton and Connor are stepbrothers who became friends many years ago as Tiger Cubs. Joe and Amy also became friends through the Cub Scout involvement, so it's safe to say that this family owes much to the Scouting program, and Scouting has been an extremely important part of the life of their family. Connor chose for his project to support his church, Lakeshore Baptist Church, by enhancing the property of the church's youth house. Connor envisioned creating a space where youth and other church members could gather for fun and fellowship outdoors, so we undertook to create a seating area and fire pit. We made plans, held a fundraiser at the church, gathered materials, and led a work crew as they constructed 3 benches surrounding the fire pit. The location of this new seating area on the lawn of the youth house and across the street from the church's prayer garden and labyrinth make it a space where the youth group can gather for fellowship and where others in the church can rest and have conversations. Layton's Eagle Scout Service Project reflects his interest in education, travel, and children. He chose to paint a 30-foot by 25-foot map of the United States on the playground of Rappaport Elementary School on the North Campus. He led a work crew as they used a stencil to paint an outline of the 50 states on the pavement. He then took the perhaps risky step, not just perhaps, of inviting fourth graders from the school, giving them brushes, cups of paint, and letting them loose to paint in all the states as the Scouts helped guide them. Layton hopes that this map will not only be a visually appealing addition to the playground area, but will also be used by teachers for educational games and lessons with the students. Next, I would like to welcome two Troop 453 Eagle Scouts, Ellis Barber and Oscar Salas. Oscar will read the Eagle Challenge. Following the challenge, Ellis will present the Eagle Charge.
I have the honor of giving you the Eagle Scout charge on the occasion of the elevation to the highest award in Scouting. The Boy Scouts of all nations constitute one of the most wholesome and significant movements in the world's history, and you have been counted worthy of this high rank in the Boy Scouts of America. All who know you rejoice in your achievement. Your position, as you all know, is one of honor and responsibility. You are a marked man. As an Eagle Scout, you have assumed a solemn obligation to do your duty to God, to your fellow Scouts, and to mankind in general. This is a great undertaking. As you live up to your obligations, you bring honor to yourself and your brother Scouts. America has many good things to give you and your children after you, but these things depend, for the most part, on the quality of her citizens. Our country has had a great past. You are here to make the future even greater. Eagle candidates Connor Wright and Layton Coker, I charge you each to undertake your citizenship with a solemn dedication. Be a leader, but lead only towards the best. Lift up every task you do and every office you hold to the high level of service to God and to your fellow man. So live and serve, that these who know you will be inspired to find a living. I charge you to be those who dedicate their hearts, hands, skills, and abilities to the common good. Help to bring America's future by continuing to set an example of clean living, honest work, unselfish citizenship, and reverence for God, whatever others may do. You will leave behind you a record of which you may be justly proud. I charge you to enter this Eagle Scout Brotherhood holding, without reservation, and ever before you the ideals of honor and service. By the repetition of the Eagle Scout promise before your fellow members, you will become Eagle Scouts. When you pledge yourself on your sacred honor, you will be sealing your eternal loyalty to the code of the Eagle Scout with the same words which close the Declaration of Independence. Will all Eagle Scouts here tonight please stand and renew your Eagle Scout promise as Layton Coker, and Connor Wright join our brotherhood. Please repeat after me. I reaffirm my allegiance to the three promises of the Scout Oath. I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself the obligations and responsibilities of an Eagle Scout. On my honor, I will do my best to make my training an example and my status and my influence count strongly for better scouting and for better citizenship in my troop, in my community, and in my contacts with other people. To this I pledge my sacred honor. 2.
As another act of preparedness, you have Blue Corner. Join us in place. Mr. Simon.
The
foremost responsibility of an Eagle Scout is to live with honor. To an Eagle Scout, honor is the foundation of all character. He knows that a scout is trustworthy. It is the very first point in the scout law for good reason. An Eagle Scout lives honorably, not only because honor is important to him, but also because of the vital significance of the example he sets for other scouts. Living honorably reflects credit on his home, his church, his troop, and his community. May the white of the Eagle badge remind you always to live with honor. The second obligation of an Eagle Scout is loyalty. A scout is true to his family, scout leaders, friends, school, and nation. His loyalty to his troop and brother scouts makes him pitch in and carry his share of the load. All of these help to build a loyalty that means devotion to the community, to country, to one's own ideals, and to God. Let the blue of the Eagle Scout badge always inspire your loyalty. The third obligation of an Eagle Scout is to be courageous. Courage has always been a quality by which men measure themselves in years. To a scout, bravery means not only the courage to face physical danger, but also the determination to stand up for the right, trusting in God, with faith, and his fellow men. He looks forward to each day, seeking his share of the world's work to do. Let the red of the Eagle badge remind you always of that, of courage. The fourth obligation of an Eagle Scout is to be cheerful. To remind the Eagle Scout to always wear a smile. The red, white, and blue ribbon is attached to the scroll of the second class award, which has its ends turned up within a smile. The final responsibility of an Eagle Scout is service. The Eagle Scout extends a helping hand to those who toil up scouting the trail, just as others helped him in the cause of Eagle. The performance of the daily good turn takes on a new meaning when it enters a more adult life of continuing service to others. The Eagle stands a protector of the weak and helpless. He aids and comforts the unfortunate and oppressed. He holds the right of others while defending his own. He will always be prepared to put forth his best. You deserve much credit for having achieved scouting the highest order. For wear your world with humility, ever mindful that Eagle Scout is looked up to as an example. The Scout Oath and the Scout Law be your guide for tomorrow and on.
Thank you, Ellis and Luke. Not every scout can qualify for scouting's highest rank of Eagle because the physical requirements are strenuous as set forth in the required merit badges. The mental requirements for merit badges and leadership require much more than simply average intelligence. And because perhaps an even more difficult and more important requirement for the Eagle badge is the personal character of the scout, his attitude toward God and the ideals of scouting is reflected in his cooperation and service to others in his troop, in his home, and in his community. The scout must have a high degree of the spirit of cheerful service to others, which is the basis of good citizenship. I am happy to report that our review reveals that both of these scouts have qualified for the rank of Eagle, and both the technical requirements as well as the requirements for personal character and good citizenship. Connor, please step forward. Connor, do you realize that you will have a greater responsibility as an Eagle Scout? As an Eagle Scout, this qualifies you for greater leadership responsibility. Are you willing to accept this responsibility for your brother Scouts, troop, and others? Will you do your best as an Eagle Scout to live the Scout Oath and Law?
Yes, sir.
Are you now ready to rededicate yourself to the Scout Oath?
Yes, sir.
Give the Scout sign, please. You recite the Scout Oath.
On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout Law, to help other people at all times, keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
Connor, by the authority vested in me by the National Court of Honor of the Boy Scouts of America, it is my privilege and pleasure to pronounce you an Eagle Scout. May the oath you have taken remain graven on your heart forever. Connor, will you step back and allow your brothers to... Layton, do you realize that you will have a greater responsibility as an Eagle Scout? As an Eagle Scout, this qualifies you for greater leadership responsibility. Are you willing to accept this responsibility for your brother Scouts, your troop, and others? Will you do your best as an Eagle Scout to live the Scout oath and law? And are you ready now to rededicate yourself to the Scout oath? Please, Scout sign, Scout salary.
On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
Layton, by the authority vested in me by the National Court of Honor of the Boy Scouts of America, it is my privilege and pleasure to pronounce you an Eagle Scout. May the oath you have taken remain graven on your heart forever. Now for the presentation of the Eagle Scout Awards, the neckerchief, the slide, the medal, and the certificate. To help present the Eagle Awards is Mr. Justin Lassick, longtime servant and adult and leader in Troop 453.
Thank you, Mr. Barron. So at this time, we're going to ask Dr. and Mrs. Coker to please join their sons up on the stage. Connor Wright, it is with distinct honor and pleasure that I present to you the Eagle Scout Award. So now Connor will present his parent bins to his mother and Dr. Coker. Connor, your mother took you to your very first Cub Scout meeting. And when you woke next morning, or she woke next morning to the sound of you hammering thumbtacks in the wall with a hammer, and then you told her, "It's okay, Mom, I'm a scout now, so I can do this." Lost my place. So she knew that you found your place in Scouts and were committed to it, and she has been by your side for every step you've taken all the way through to the Eagle Trail. Likewise, Dr. Coker has been there alongside you in your journey to Eagle Scouts since the day you met him as your then leader in Cub Scouts. So at this time, I'm going to let you present your parent pins to them as tokens of appreciation for the encouragement and assistance they have given you over the years and the contributions that they have made in your attainment of the award. And now we'll let Connor present his mentor pin to Mr. Barron.
So throughout my experience of scouting, I was not always the most excited at times, like I know a lot of my fellow scouts are, and it's really hard. And I definitely would not have been able to do this without the help of the people behind me. I owe most of what I've done in scouting to them, and most of what I've done in life to the two standing up here with me. So I'd like to say thank you guys so much for everything you've done for me.
And now we'll have Mr. Barron present Connor with the Eagle certificate and read the letter from Ashley.
Along the road in scouting, there's lots of paperwork. This is actually the good kind. There's a packet of papers for each of these young men. Their application signed off all the way to the top of scouting, the national, local council, the troop. There are letters, membership card for the National Eagle Scout Association, give them membership for the next 10 years. They're wonderful things. One of the most important pieces of paperwork in this process is a letter from the National Scout Office. If you'll allow me, please, to read this. Mr. Connor Payton writes, "Dear Connor, congratulations. You're now an Eagle Scout. In completing all the requirements, you've mastered many valuable skills and made the Scout Oath and Law part of your life. What you've accomplished is impressive. It's also pretty rare." It says fewer than 7 out of 100 Boy Scouts ever achieve this rank. It means you've dedicated yourself, put in the hours, and most importantly, found ways to benefit your community. Remember that your name now appears on an exclusive list whose members have excelled in fields from business to government, education. Common trait you all share is leadership. We're counting on you to aim high and continue leading by your service and example. Again, congratulations and best wishes for more successes. Sincerely, Randall L. Stevenson, President of the Boy Scouts of America, and Michael B. Serball, Chief Scout Executive.
Layton Coker, it is with distinct honor and pleasure that I now present you with the Eagle Scout Award. Now Layton will get to present the parent pins to his father and Mrs. Coker. Layton, just as Amy did with Connor, your dad took you to your very first scout meeting. There he agreed to volunteer as your den leader because of the age-old scout promise, it only takes an hour a week. That's just the meeting time. Like many of us here in this room, we have found out it turned out to be more of a commitment than that. But his commitment to seeing you progress down the Eagle Trail has never wavered over the years. Likewise, Amy has been there alongside you in your journey to Eagle Scout since the day you met her through Scout meetings. Now you'll get to present the parent pins to them as tokens of appreciation for the encouragement and assistance that they have given you over the years and the contributions they have made to your attainment of this award. And now Layton will present his mentor pin to Mr. Barron.
I think Connor summed it up quite well. These three people that I gave these three pins to have meant so much to me. Not only in scouting, which is obviously a very important aspect of my life, but in many other areas as well. So I'm very thankful that I was able to present these three pins to these three people who have meant so much to me in my entire life experience. So, thank you.
Mr. Barrett, if you will please present Layton with his certificate and read the letter from National.
This may sound familiar, but it's really important to hear these words written to Mr. Layton Edward Coker. Dear Layton, congratulations. You're now an Eagle Scout. In completing all the requirements, you've mastered many valuable skills and made the Scout oath and law part of your life. What you've accomplished is impressive. It's also pretty rare. Fewer than 7 out of every 100 Boy Scouts ever achieve this rank. It means you've dedicated yourself, put in the hours, and most importantly, found ways to benefit your community. Remember that your name now appears on an exclusive list whose members have excelled in fields from business to government to education. Common trait you all share is leadership. We're counting on you to aim high and continue leading by your service and example. Again, congratulations, best wishes, and many more successes. Sincerely, Randall L. Stevenson, President of Boy Scouts of America, Michael B. Serbaugh, Chief Scout Executive. Thank you, Copers and Wrights. Parents may return to your seats. Any new Eagle Scouts up here may now return. Troop Chaplain Samuel Barron will now lead us in benediction. Samuel.
We pray. Dear Lord, please guide everyone home safely and bless all those that are here this afternoon. Let us all leave here with our own desire to instill some of the characteristics of an Eagle Scout into our own lives. Help us remember not to turn to the world, but to you, for our hope, strength, and answers during troubled times. May the great Master of all Scouts be with you to lead you.
Thank you, Samuel. Carl Schubert, will you please lead us in the closing flag ceremony?
Color guard to your posts. Color guard, retrieve your colors. Will the audience please stand? Scout salute. Color guard, tie the colors.
Two.
Color guard dismissed.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you, everyone, who came to witness this big deal today. I hereby declare this Eagle Scout Court of Honor closed. Congratulations for the newest Eagle Scouts, Layton Coker and Connor Wright. We invite everyone here to join us here in the Parish Hall for a reception and refreshments. Also during the reception, be sure to take a few moments to visit the displays that Connor and Layton and the families have set up with memories of their years in scouting and photos of their activities while in Scouts. Thank you for joining us.